Hi, folks. That's Monica Brinkman. I'm Ken Wein, and we just like to get together and chat and hope you like listening to us. I live in a gated community, Monica. I don't know if you know that or not. I didn't move here when it was gated. It was not a gated, but now it is.
Oh, so they decided that you needed that. That's
So
a good idea.
that means we have these gates that open and close. Big whoop hardly stops people from getting in and out. On the other side of our property, of this big community, we have a river and public walkway. It's a great place to go walking and hiking and
Is it
stuff.
beautiful, huh?
Yeah. But it's also a great place to have a homeless encampment if you're homeless.
Yeah.
And not too surprisingly, we have homeless people who climb over our fence, under our fence, cut one of the gates, slide under the car gate because it can't go that low, get in here and use us as a shortcut. Some maybe even steal, but I don't see that as a big problem. Some of my neighbors seem to think that we're under siege. I don't know. I don't know. But then this raises a question for me, and it's a question that I think all of us really have to think about: the stranger. What do we do about the stranger who comes to our community?
Yes. And we had a lot of that. That's another thing that happens when there's disasters and that type of thing, is that there's resources all of a sudden in these communities, handouts basically to people.
Mhm.
And you have, of course, the homeless just flocking there because they would like some food and shelter also. So
Yeah, of course. So they come and see if they can stand in line in the parking lot. And then you have the con men who come and I'm going to repair your house when they have
yes,
such
we went through
tension.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the pass-through, the person who's just comes into your community and they may or may not want something. They may or may not be looking for work. They may or may not be homeless. And, who are they to us? Who is the least of these among us? I thought I'd share one of my poems today, Monica. Would you like to hear?
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask you to do that. So I'm so glad you're like reading my mind.
This one is from a collection called Remember. And I always like to share this cover because the cover of this is from a pastel that was done by a very wonderful artist and a great friend of mine who happens to be Monica Brinkman.
He makes me blush. I know.
Well, that's okay. You can blush. Meanwhile, it's a great picture of me. The only thing I have to say, folks, is Monica made me a lot better looking than I am in person. See that. The poem's called Wander. I wander between reading others' books and writing verse. 80 miles south in the Gadsden Purchase, undocumented, dressed in cast-offs, he wonders if there is stoop work or sanctuary to be found, perhaps a hot meal. The law forbids offering water, let alone a ride. Better to be a scofflaw, a good criminal, picks lettuce, and sends stoop-back pesos home to Guatemala so his children can go to school and teach their minds to wander through books, perhaps write their own verse.
Oh,
so
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Can people buy your book?
Some do. This particular book is published by Kelsay, K-E-L-S-A-Y books, and it's on Amazon as well. And I hope people will buy them. But
very good.
But
if you don't like poetry, you do. You just need to read it. You'll find out.
But The thing about it is, I see these people coming through. They come through, and we hear about the people on the border. We hear about the border wall. We hear about the crisis on the border. The real crisis on the border is not people like the guy in the poem. And that's who most of these people are. They're people like our ancestors who came here looking for a better life, but also looking for a way to send money home to help their families.
Yeah.
These are good people, most of them.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I dislike about the perception of immigrants and even homeless. Most of these people are good people.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is that they're stuck at the border. See, this is the real problem. Okay. We have work for them. I mean, if you go up to the chicken plucking plants in the Midwest, okay, Americans don't want to work in those. They're hiring. If you go to Vermont, of all places, if you go to the dairy farms in Vermont, most of the workers are undocumented. If you go to Mar-a-Lago and look at who is cleaning the rooms and who is mowing the lawn and who is taking care of the golf course, a lot of them, folks, are actually undocumented. Okay? And the places that are able to get the documented usually have some kind of special way of doing it. They're often paying somebody off. And they're getting a leg up because they know that their competitor who is hiring the undocumented person is much more vulnerable.
Yes.
And because they have the connection, they no longer care. But reality is that we need these people. Okay, if you go out, okay, here in Arizona, we recently, a few months ago, we lost our roof. We had to have it replaced. Okay, that's part of life. Insurance covered most of it, et cetera. Got a crew up there. None of them speak English. They have an interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who comes? None of them speak English. They're hardworking, honest guys who are banging away on those nails. And I'm willing to bet not a single one of them was here legally. And let me tell you, this was not the bad weather. This was not the hot weather. And people didn't want to be up on that roof. And
that's one of the most dangerous jobs.
And they had to be up on that roof. Nobody born in this country, including those of Hispanic descent, will want to be up on that roof. It's just, they don't want to be digging on a road.
No.
They want to because it's so hard.
Or the crops.
Oh God, don't get me started on picking lettuce and outside of Yuma. When I had to find a place to represent hell in one of my short stories, I used Yuma. And that's me going to Yuma, staying in a hotel, eating in a restaurant, and driving on through.
Right, you had air conditioning. It was in between the air conditioning.
And nobody, wants to be out there picking that lettuce. So what we're talking about hardworking people, desperate people, honest people, but they have no way of getting to the lettuce field, getting to the job. They get across the border, and we have nothing set up to help distribute them. We have no place
for more money into, making that go faster.
If we put our money into creating refugee camps, creating a specific status so that the children did not automatically get citizenship, they did not automatically get green cards, but that they could get work on a parole basis, and we set up a way to get them from those refugee camps to those jobs, we could be both humane, decent, and protect our border.
Yes. But see,
Well,
that's too simple, Ken, you know, and
it
nobody can make
requires-
profit from that.
It requires thinking about people as part of our community. It means that when when that homeless person walks through my gated community, I don't feel compelled to call the police. I just wave and say, hey, have a good day as he walks through, because I know he has the right. He has the right that God has given him to walk from one side of this piece of property to the other. And it is not my role to deny him that right. And it is not my wish to deny him that right.
Well, we need to talk about the reason people are opposed to this and don't feel as you do. Maybe next time we'll do that.
We could talk about a lack of empathy. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, folks, Ken Ween, Monica Brinkman, and we love to talk to one another. We love to have you listen, but we also, if you'd like to join us, please reach out to us. The easiest way is on Facebook.
Mhm.
Okay. And just give us a holler on Facebook, send us a message. And we'd just be delighted to have you join us and talk about what's on your mind.
Yeah, and we'd love to know what you believe community consists of also. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.